First of all, good night, teacher. I'm presenting my activity number 13. And first, when did you use teleconferencing? Well, sometimes when I was just a little child, I used Skype from some video conferencing with some family. But when they really start to use teleconferencing is when the pandemic starts. Because they need to move into the virtual way, all the classes. And that is the really first way that I have a complex teleconferencing use. Well, I have, of course, many difficulties because I was my whole life in a classroom that I only need to go through some hour to another hour. But at that moment, when the pandemic starts, I need to start to be in one place, seated like for 8 hours or even a little bit more. So that was so disappointing. And I start to, I don't know, it's like, oh, I have this and I start to play with this or something like that. So the focus to be in the meeting or in the class was so hard at the beginning of the pandemic. And well, it is easy to get agreements through teleconferencing. I think at the first moment, no, because they are not accustomed rate to that. In my case, of course, I don't was easy to get that agreement with my partners, uh, and that is because we are not in that focus of what he said or what he another says, and they need to start to repeat and repeat the whole situation, and that goes through the uh, discording. They don't have the correct information and they say yes to something that they don't understand. So maybe that is the way that it's not that easy to get agreements. But when do you have sometimes in this, just like I and maybe all my partners, I think it's a little bit more easy to get into the those agreements. And a little experience that I face when I start to work. And of course, it was in the pandemic. I was held online, and it was a quite an experience because I remember telling my friends later that I have been really difficult to reach any agreements because most of the new team members, including myself, were still getting used using some remote platforms. And some senior workers mentioned that they had already been using miracles for a while, just like Skype, but that it was a little old, so they found it easier to adapt so to that many apps that they already have. And one of them even say that the hardest part wasn't the technology, but getting the rest of us to stop accidentally muting ourselves or talking over each other. And of course, during the meeting, a new college said that she couldn't find the share screen button, while Honor admitted that he had talking through 2 minutes with his mic off. And I told them afterward that I feel exactly the same, just like them. And that is a little bit of my experience focus on this new era of teleconferencing. Thank you so much.